first of all, how are you connected with Assata Shakur?
That's my auntie.
Okay.
That's my father's comrade and sister.
Okay, is it his actual sister or just
Well, yeah.
his blood sister is what I'm saying?
Not really, but yeah.
Okay, I understand. So, do you remember the whole situation with that Assata was involved in and the shooting and everything?
No, I just recall when little further down the line when they started looking for my father, and they were talking about the whole story and all the connections and all that.
So, after the Assata Shakur thing, that's when the police started looking for your dad.
No, I think it was a little while. It was a little while longer. A little
Okay.
while after that.
Okay.
And
And
there was a lot of things. There was a lot of activities going on at that time, and a lot of connected incidents.
Yeah.
And eventually, they started looking for my pops.
okay. Now, when Assata, because the shooting happened in New Jersey, Assata was arrested and put in jail, but at one point she escaped. And I heard that she was moving around New York during this time. Did you see her at all during this time?
Me, nah. Mm-mm.
Were you in contact with her when she left to Cuba?
No, I haven't. No,
Not at all.
I haven't talked to her since I was a kid.
Okay. How do you feel about what happened with her in terms of, I believe she's like the most wanted female on the FBI's most wanted list at this point.
Really, I mean, it's all in how you look at things. It's all in how you look at things, and one of the phrases I like to use is perception is everything.
Sure.
Perception is everything. And now consider this. This is 2015,
Yeah.
right? Law enforcement is off the motherfucking chain. They're shooting young black males in the back, in the front, hopping on the cars to shoot them while they're sitting down. So what year was that? That was that with Assata happened in late 79?
70s.
Something like that. So just imagine how much worse the cops were.
Yeah, before social media.
I wasn't there. I was not there. I don't know exactly what happened, but there has to be. You have to take into consideration the times, the white supremacy, the power dynamic, and sometimes someone you think is guilty is innocent.
Yeah. Well, it happened in 73. I looked it up.
73, yeah.
Happened in 73. And she was, I guess, like a hero. Because, I guess, like, people were actually hiding her out for a while. Like, the police couldn't find her. I heard they were, like, they're shutting down project buildings trying to find her and stuff like that. And the
And
people
that
ultimately...
probably happened because they supported her position.
Yeah.
And
Like
black
people,
and brown people, poor, disenfranchised people in our communities, we know the real. The narrative is often led by law enforcement, and often they be motherfucking lying.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you know the truth and can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
What are you left to just continue to just take it, or you gonna do something?
Now, I think it's amazing that someone would actually risk their own freedom to protect a fugitive from justice. Because if you get caught with Assata Shakur in your house, you're probably going to do a good 10 years for aiding and abetting at that point. Think that's pretty accurate?
It was a different time. And people had a stronger constitution. They were willing to go farther then it seems then people are willing to go now to fight for what's right, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just messed up.
Well, I think it's actually pretty amazing that Cuba has, even though the U.S. and Cuba are ending their, well, the U.S. is ending their embargo against Cuba, but Cuba has actually refused to give up Assata Shakur back to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of surprised me, because you would think that the money, you know, I mean, that potentially could mess up the bigger deal. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And yet Cuba is still saying no. You know, Assata Shakur is a political refugee in this country. We're not going to
Yeah,
give her back to the U.S.
You got to you got to know what I mean, man. You know, that's speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And you have to consider the power dynamic, all the factors involved. On top of that, there's COINTELPRO
Yeah.
that was in full swing, which, you know, doesn't get, you know, the full examination that it needs to be. My father is currently incarcerated. He got 60 years. And what he's pushing is truth and reconciliation. Truth and reconciliation, which often happen in Africa, South Africa, post-apartheid, because the pain was so deep and it was wrong on both sides, and it needed to be, that was the only way to resolve it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Both sides had to admit what's wrong and put everything on the table and move forward. That hasn't happened in this country. You know, there's a refusal to look at itself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the problems. You want to keep ignoring it. It's like a toothache. You keep ignoring that abscess, it's going to hurt more. It's going to start stinking. You're going to get sick. Hello, here we are.
Yeah. So, at one point, the police are looking for your dad. Mm-hmm. What was he being charged with?
My father was charged with the liberation of Assata Shakur, amongst other things.
He was charged to help her break out of prison.
Yes.
Really? And how did they say that he did it?
Very skillfully, without a shot fired, without anybody getting hurt. That's what they say.
Okay.
I wasn't there. No say.
Okay. So your dad actually helped, well, allegedly.
Allegedly. That's the word. Yeah.
Allegedly helped Assata break out of prison. Once again, if that actually happened, he's actually risking his own safety for the help of someone that he cares about. Which is something you just don't see a lot these days.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah. So he was eventually captured?
Yeah. He was captured in L.A.
Okay.
He was captured in L.A. in like 86.
Okay. And then the trial happened. And what was he sentenced to?
60 years.
60 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the only charge? The helping Assata escape?
He was charged with some homicides, bank robberies. They hit him with a whole bunch of charges under the RICO Act, which means they don't even have to have solid evidence. They can rely on informant, which are paid by the government, get into witness protection, and they get what they want without having to follow the rules.
Okay. And so basically they said that your dad was running a criminal organization.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. And 60 years, and he was how old during that time? 40?
Shit, he was like 30 something.
Okay, so they're more or less giving him life in prison.
Yeah, they trying to, but he's an animal. My dad's a beast.
He's been appealing
He's a warrior. Well, I mean, we're keeping our prayers up and staying positive, but he was sentenced 60 years without the L, He falls under the old terms and the old laws. And under the old laws, you only had to serve 50%.
So 30 years.
So next April, he'll be eligible to be free.
Aha. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
If that's why it's a real, it's a real tense. It's a real anxious time.
Yeah.
But I think he's done his time. He's paid his dues. He's paid his debt to society. So, as long as everything goes straight, we're good.
You talk to him a lot?
Yep.
Visit him?
Weekly. Yep.
Weekly.
We're supposed to go visit him this weekend. Yeah. Gonna see the big dog.
That's what's up.
I FaceTime him, FaceTime me, you know what I'm saying? We talked it out. I had a grudge, he had a grudge, you know what I'm saying? We killed it, put it in the middle of the flow. You know what I'm saying? It's over with now. So we working.
Bow wow.
Do I have to go through this? I'm gonna plead the fifth. See, here's what happens. You have to understand, this is like player failure. Player failure is when you call out people and then other people get afraid you might call them out.